Hiya, pals. Hi, pals, and welcome to the Disneyland Paris Show. Here's your hosts, Lucy, Chris, and Hugh. Gosh. And now, Disneyland Paris News.
Disneyland Paris has announced a reopening date of the 17th of June 2021.
Hotel New York, the Art of Marvel's grand opening will take place 21st of June.
Reopening dates have been given for 4 Disneyland Paris' events hotels.
The World of Disney is again opening on weekends ahead of a full reopening with the rest of the resort.
Village Natures, it says my outfit trying to do it without reading, is now officially reopened.
It's an exciting week, guys, for many, many reasons. I'm going to tell you. First of all, we finally have some actual news and information coming out of Disneyland Paris, and we have a reopening date.
Woohoo!
So the magic will return. We have a date, which is so exciting. We also have an exciting trip update from Chris coming up in a short while. But first, a reason we were always going to celebrate this week, regardless of all the other things, is we have finally sat in the same room. What a novelty.
We've been allowed to join in a communal room from both sides of the 37th Street house.
I can put my hands in front of Lucy, look.
Yeah.
What disappear?
And do you know what this also means? We can share a feast and break bread and pass things between us. So,
Hot dog! Oh, gosh.
what else would a Disney fan eat?
Well,
There you
look
go,
at
Chris.
this.
as we were saying last week, I bought this Hella Spice Ketchup, now available at Home Bargains, Quality Save, and B&M. I don't know about B&M, possibly. But I wanted to recreate the Pinocchio Chalet de la Marinette Pinocchio hot dogs. So we've got that.
Breakfast.
So we're going to try that sauce. And have you had one of those, Chris?
I haven't, no, I've never been in there, but I was
Okay.
very excited watching you over my computer
Well,
talking about it the other day.
Maybe you can imagine, but I'll be able to compare and contrast myself.
Do you know what I do, though?
How much do you put on?
Just a line.
A line.
A dollop. I order the hot
Ooh, that's a
dog
lot.
Is it?
and then scrape the
Doesn't feel like a
chili
lot.
sauce off.
Now, it doesn't look the same colour as the Disneyland Paris one.
Curry sauce. I'm not sure what it
Here
is.
we are, hot dogs. Can I just make a disclaimer while you're just pointing all this stuff down? We've had all kinds of we've had hella technical problems getting set up today, and we're on 2 microphones, and I know it's going to sound a bit echoey, so I'm really sorry about that. Hopefully it'll be all right.
We got in a bit of a rhythm with the automated recording over Zoom and putting the audio together and all that kind of thing. We'd got it down after a year in lockdown, but now we're back in the same room together. All of a sudden, it seems so much more complicated. And I'd even go as far to say, as we had a touch of the opening night nerves, didn't we, guys? Before we came on. I'm not sure how this is going to work.
I was cooking onions, I was alright.
Yeah, he was chefing.
Right.
I was tweaking around with green screens.
I left my charger at home, so if the show suddenly ends abruptly, it's because my battery's gone.
All
dead on
this
my
will be
laptop.
ironed out by next week.
I'm not
promise.
sure this is capturing the taste of Chalet de la Marinette. Is it de la Marinette?
If you want it to
Or
be.
au Marinette?
Oh, marionette.
Right. So it's not quite there. But what we can do is, if you go to the Pinocchios in Disney World, they do this Heinz honey mustard.
Oh.
And my friend from work asked me to bring him some sachets back, which I did. And then about 2 weeks later, I found this everywhere. He said, you can't get it in the UK.
Oh, we thought it was some exotic American delicacy, honey mustard.
I think this is also from... it's from one of
Don't
those.
say it.
It's from one of the bargain shops anyway. But this will capture a true taste of Fantasyland.
Oh, well, do you know what? I put the curry stuff on both of
You
mine.
did. I was going to stop you, but
You didn't stop
too
me.
late. I was going to.
Well, I'm going to have both. I'm going to load
Have
it.
both.
Do you know what? I've been dieting, as you're probably all aware, for quite a while now, and I don't really eat stuff like this normally, so this is a big treat for me.
The treat.
It's great.
Disney calories don't count. We've always said that.
People love it when we eat on the show. They love it.
Well, I'm
why
not
wouldn't you?
eating. I said at least one of us should be able to talk, so I'm going to carry on because we have got a barrel full of stuff to talk about. So, they've announced the reopening.
A canister full.
Indeed. I've kind of broken it down into certain sections because there was so much to talk about. I needed to be able to order it a certain way. So we've got tickets, parks, rides and attractions, hotels, Hotel New York, and the Disney Village. So I'm going to start with what's good. Now we've got a reopening date, what's going on with tickets.
Okay.
So your annual passes have been extended by the number of days the park was shut. Now, I don't know if it works out exactly the same for everyone, but just to put it in context, our expiry date should have been the 25th of August 2020. Our expiry date is now the 11th of September 2021. So it's like a year and 2 weeks-ish. Okay? So, but you can, by going on the annual passport dashboard, you can go and find this out. We might put a link to that in the description.
I think it's a good idea. It must be beyond confusing.
It's a really hard website to find. I always go on, I always search it on Twitter and then follow a link. Because it is quite a tricky website to find. But yeah, nobody knows when the expiry date is anymore. So if you need that, we'll put the link in the description below. You still need park reservations for those who don't have hotel reservations or dated tickets. Now, the last time I bought a ticket, not a package, and not an annual pass. It was undated. I think they have largely gone on to selling dated tickets only now. So I don't think there's many people who've got undated tickets, particularly these days. But if you want to check, if you have got an undated ticket, you need to go on and make a park reservation. If you're an annual pass holder, you need to go on and make your park reservations, which are now open and on some days have sold out, on certain weekends in August and so on. However, there was some communication sent out from Disneyland Paris going, we know people are disappointed, we're listening, Disney's listening and looking for solutions. So I don't know if they're going to try and drop some more capacity. We'll get to that. There is an annual pass soft opening. If you are lucky enough to be in a district that is able to travel to Paris in June, there is a soft opening on the 15th and 16th of June.
Or as the Americans would pronounce it, an anal pass opening.
Do they?
They do. I was watching Molly on all years.
Anal pass?
And she was saying anal pass.
Yeah.
An anal pass opening.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't sound very Disney at all, does it?
Especially the soft one.
Oh, keep it clean, keep it clean.
Have you written down that timestamp so I can edit it out?
Yeah. No good when we're live.
Just the body.
So what they've done for that is they have cancelled anyone who just perchance had made park reservations on the 15th and 16th of June, back when we didn't have a reopening date and was just making random reservations. Disney have cancelled them all, and they are going to reopen them for annual pass members soon. And I presume we will get an email about that, because the only communication we've had is soon. Now the thing is, it would be a big sort of gamble for a UK annual pass holder to make that reservation at this point, given that it is highly unlikely that the borders will be open. But if we have any people, continental folks watching, fill your boots. We're there with you in spirit, trust us. This is a bit of a weird one, for which Google Translate would not give me adequate information. Disneyland Paris have launched a new Tribu ticket, spelled Tribu. Tell me if I'm spelling that, pronouncing that wrong.
Tribute, without the T.
Yeah, Tribu.
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 Probably.
Tribu.
Tribu.
Yeah, I've never been able to do that tongue thing.
Tribu.
And that is, if you buy 4 to 6 tickets for visits in June and September, you can then buy day tickets for as little as €45. So it's a bit like a companion ticket that you get as an annual pass holder. I think it sounds like a loyalty program. I almost imagine it to be like, you know, when you get your card stamped at Subway and then you get a spare sandwich. So if you go between 4 and 6 times in June, July, August and September, you get to have cheap additional tickets. I think it's a way of getting people to bulk buy and go a lot without buying annual passes. Or maybe they're trialling something that they might do in California because they're still looking for a replacement to their annual pass program. So maybe maybe we're an experiment. It's only available on the French website at the moment. You can buy it as a UK resident. It would currently be pointless. But you can, but you just have to go through the French website and then tackle the translation, which can sometimes be ropey. Right, that's my ticket bit. Does somebody else want to talk for a moment?
Yeah, can I just say,
yes.
It's really weird watching you guys with your setup here, and I've kind of stuck myself next to it, because we've got, it's quite a nice setup we've got here, I think, in your kitchen.
Our kitchen.
In our kitchen.
All our kitchen.
But I'm normally set up in my kitchen as well, and my table's normally full, and your table's full of your stuff, so there's not really room for us all. But
I think there is.
It's cosy, isn't it?
I've got a notebook and a Erdinger Blue beer, alcohol free.
I've got
That's all.
smashed pale IPA.
That's my setup.
That's what I've got.
You guys are rock and roll. I'm on the hard stuff.
Yeah,
I'm on Diet Coke.
It's funny. It's just funny you saying setup when I suppose we normally have your laptop out, wouldn't we? But I've got a pink pencil and a notepad.
Well, the laptop's the other thing. So at the moment you're here, we can see you there, but the laptop's here, which means we're automatically drawn over there because that's where our pretty faces are.
Well,
if you see me checking my hair down in this corner, that's what's going on.
As is normal on the show, I keep an eye on the chat, so I'm always looking down anyway.
Yeah.
I should have it set up here.
Speaking of which, do we have anybody with us today who wants to chat?
0 people in the chat room. Actually, no, there's a whole bunch.
Lies.
A whole bunch. Let's do a roll call. We've got Andrew Pan, we've got Susie, we've got Matt Chester. Who else we got?
Susie.
We've got Sam Metcalf.
Mark. Andrew. Sam. Hey.
We haven't got Mark Riley yet. We'll see if he turns up after his walk with his family.
Getting to know the regulars.
There might be someone from America. But, I mean, you don't have to say anything. You can.
Yeah.
I mean, there will be people in here who just
we're there for the lurkers, because the truth is, we're lurkers too. We're all lurkers. When we do this from the other end, we're lurkers.
One of the
we don't
people
mind
might
that.
just be me.
Yeah, one of them's definitely me.
Oh.
I have a question to ask. I'm going to get on to my more of my part news in a second. But asking people in the chat, does anybody finally have a countdown? Because it's been a bit ropey to do a Disneyland Paris countdown recently. A lot of people won't know whether they're going or not if they've got summer bookings. But if someone has now got a confirmed date that they're going and they want to give us their countdown, let us know in the chat, because that fills me with the heebie-jeebies. It does.
Well, we know that Susie is going at some point next.
No, she's going to Florida next
sorry, I thought you meant any
April/May. Because we're missing each other by.
The Chesters are going, aren't they? The Chesters are going sometime this year, is it? Wasn't it?
December.
I
think so, yeah. I think it's December. Mark's also said that I'm leaning out in a COVID-safe kind of way. It's because we're in a line, and so for me to be able to look at Lucy, which I can't normally do, but in order to do that I have to lean slightly. But also the green screen, giving away all the secrets here, the green screen's directly behind me, so I'm kind of touching it. So I'm just trying to, I'll scooch. I'll find a comfortable place, Mark, and I'll settle in, and it'll be all right.
We can also do things like this now we're all together. I can say, Hugh, would you mind going and getting my other laptop? My other iPad?
Oh, is your charge going?
It's just died.
Oh no, it's died. That's got all the important
stuff. That's my notes on. Other than that, it's just staring at each other. I didn't see that being the technical problem we had today, Chris. I'm not going to lie to you.
No, it's been hairy, hasn't it? It's been hairy.
Imagine 2 laptops. 2 iPads.
And I've got my iPad here as well, so if you get stuck with that one as well, I can always...
yeah, so 37 history, well worth burgling.
That is so far from being true.
Especially if you like alcohol-free beer.
We spend all our money on Disney holidays and have nothing of value.
Susie said she brought back sachets of blue cheese dressing and ranch from Cosmic Rays.
Oh, don't blame me. Blue cheese dressing is amazing.
The Fletchers like a blue cheese.
Oh, we do like a blue cheese.
I'm not going to lie to you. I always come back from Disneyland Paris with those tiny little bottle-shaped things of Nutella even though we usually have Nutella in the cupboard anyway. There's just something about having a sachet from holiday that feels a little luxurious.
We have all the shampoo that from every hotel that we've been in, and we've never used any of it at all. It's just sat there on the side. We probably ought to throw it out. It's probably
Do you know
I got
what
some from years ago.
Do you know what they've done in Disney World?
Yeah.
Bolted them to the wall.
Really?
How rude. How rude.
Sam's going in 219 days to Disneyland.
219 days. That's exciting.
Santa Fe. I want to stay in Santa Fe just because. Well, we haven't. You haven't you?
I stayed in Santa Fe for Run Disney. I had, like, legitimately the furthest room from the park. One day I'll show you it on a map, and it's ridiculous. It's like the furthest corner of the furthest building on the top floor at the end of the corridor. It was ridiculous. Anyway, very nice place though. I think you'd like Santa Fe. One day. Right, the parks. Okay, let's get some more information. I've got it here. The overall capacity will be limited to 28,000 across both parks. So that's the resort. I don't believe from the wording of the article I was reading that includes things like the village and the hotels. I think that's just the parks because they're able to control that better with ticket entries. Masks are now required for all guests over the age of 6. Now, previously, this was 11. So, I mean, our kids fall in that age range. If we decided to go right now, it would be masks for them when it wouldn't have been before. But it's not surprising. I mean, other parks, the American parks, the Far Eastern parks, that's the model they've been doing over the age of 2. They haven't given a list of restaurants that will be open. They've given a list of restaurants that won't be open. So we are to presume that anything I'm not about to say out loud will be open on the 17th of June. So Toad Hall, Puerto del Oro, Auberge de Cendrillon, Silver Spur, Steakhouse and Waltz.
That's not many at all, is it?
It isn't, given that Waltz has been in permanent refurbishment for about a decade.
Neither of the times I went were there only that many restaurants shut.
There's usually that many shut seasonally, isn't there? But they'll all be on limited capacity, so they need more restaurants for more bums. If that makes sense. Because when we went last July, we went in Hakuna Matata, and it was
what a wonderful phrase.
Especially with that Yorkshire accent.
Hakuna Matata. And it was, well, A, it was delicious, but B, they'd had to have the distance between the tables. There was no one in there. There was like 3 tables in the room that we were in, wasn't there? And then there was another room that maybe had 2 tables in. I mean, it was brilliant. If you think of the usual screaming kids in Disney restaurants, but that'll be presumably why they've got a lot open. Interesting, though, that's 3 of your premier dining options. That only leaves Jack's, doesn't it? Captain Jack's.
What about
Waltz, Auberge, and Silver Spur.
What about
You've got Remy's.
Remy's.
In Chez Remy in the studios, and you've got Captain Jack's. But even your options at the Disneyland Hotel is currently shut, so you're not going to get Inventions, thank you. You're not going to get Inventions.
I never thought I'd be the one that knew the answer to that. Especially not from Business Street.
Inventions, anyway. I always get that lost. So, hours. I think this is very respectable for reopening. It's going to be open from 9:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I think that when we went last year, same time of year, it was like 6 or something. I remember being like, we're not done. You know, when the park shuts and you're just not quite done. Yeah. It was that kind of time. Whereas 8 p.m, we'd normally be leaving for childhood bedtimes then anyway. And then from the 3rd of July, it will open till 9 p.m. The Walt Disney Studios Park will finish at 6, and that is quite long enough. I know it's sad, but it is. Extra magic hours will continue 8:30 to 9:30 as usual.
It's good to think that soon enough, the Hollywood Studios, Walt Disney Studios, is going to be
it's going to be a destination.
A destination where the same happened to Hollywood Studios and Disney World. It was just a kind of a
California adventure,
and now it's the place to be.
Yeah, when we first went to Hollywood Studios, it was largely building sites like this was boarded up and that was shut because they were rejuvenating it. Now it is rejuved. It has been rejuvenated, and we haven't been able to go to Star Wars because the borders are closed. But yeah, so hopefully we're going to have a park that people come from all over the world to go to this new destination park, which I am.
Do you think Avengers Campus will be enough to start that off?
No, I don't.
At what point does it become?
It's probably the least attractive one, is it? Is it?
Well, it's just
Of the three.
I think it's just been happening for so long now that the excitement of it's kind of gone a bit, hasn't it?
It will be Frozen Land. It'll be Arendelle that gets it because if they're opening Arendelle, that means they're opening the new lake that they're building, and just having the avenue and the lake alone is enough for me. So all they're doing is doing an overlay of an existing area of the park for the Marvel. I mean, it's going to be a major overlay, but it's already kind of there. Whereas I think when they get that. Because I'm not. Have they announced exactly what it's called? I keep calling it Arendelle.
Frozen Land.
Is it called Frozen Land?
Yeah.
That's shocking. That's shocking.
Oh yeah.
Frozen Land.
That's shocking. It's not going to be called Frozen
Cold
Land.
Place.
It sounds like a sounds like a budget frozen food supermarket.
Chillyville.
Probably the kind of place that would sell hella spice ketchup. You know, on the top of the fridges.
I should know this.
99 pence.
Is Frozen called Frozen in France? I think it is, isn't it?
I
don't know.
It's called froid.
Frozen.
Froid, which means cold.
Frozen.
Do you know, between you two and Amanda Holden, we're not getting a
my word.
a great rep. Foreign language.
We apologise for Amanda Holden.
Yeah.
Who basically said.
Europe, we apologise.
Who basically shrugged and said, I don't know the difference between French and Dutch.
And it's like,
What
who
else?
cares? Netherlands, France, who cares?
I don't apologise for Amanda Holden. I apologise for the person who allowed her to sit in front of the camera in the first place. Surely we knew that was what was going to happen.
Well,
we knew.
We're like, who's going to be representing us? And then he said, oh, we have Amanda Holden. And I went, oh, like that. And she didn't deliver. She didn't
disappoint.
She didn't change my mind.
Who would be better? Who would be like a wildcat? Bill Oddie. Imagine if they wheeled Bill Oddie out, you'd be like, what?
I think he'd be a decent representation of your average British man, I'll give you that. Right. There's reasons to be excited though, people.
Is there?
We've entered the 21st century.
Reasons to be cheerful.
Reasons to be cheerful. You can now book Disneyland Paris restaurants on the Disneyland Paris app. I mean, what?
About time.
It's real, it's happening, it's there. I've tried it, I've scrolled.
Wow.
It's like the future.
We can take those bits down off our website then.
I know. Those really dodgy
They
links.
never worked anyway.
Well, they only work if you copy and paste them and remove the spaces. And oh yeah.
La Reine des Neiges. Yeah, Susie says for Frozen.
White Rain.
Oh, the Snow Queen.
La Reine des Neiges.
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, well, it is called the Snow Queen, isn't it? I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah. That's what the Anders said. Was it? Oh no, it's Perrault. Is it? The Snow Queen.
I don't know.
Hans Christian Andersen.
I don't know.
Anyway. And then something else, another reason to be cheerful is, and I've never seen this except on Tinternet, the return of Stars and Cars. Now this was when Walt Disney Studios first opened. They had their own parade. You had the 3 o'clock parade in the main park, and then you had Stars in Cars in Walt Disney Studios. And it's just what it sounds like. It's kind of open top cars with people sat in them waving, and then they'd do a little circle, then they'd all get out and greet the crowd, and then they'd get back in and they'd drive off. So they're using those, and the vehicles are actually awesome.
Yeah,
Have you seen these adapted cars?
I've seen a video on YouTube of, I think it was a New Year's party when they brought them back out again.
Fan days, they did it then as well.
And they break down. One of them broke down, and it honestly, we kept watching this video because we were interested and it was good. But for 25 minutes, the same car was just stuck there in the shop.
Well, they've been in a garage for 15 years.
I like the idea that Goofy has a tow truck and he comes out and he carts them off.
Yeah. They need to get Mater out, yeah.
I don't want Mater.
Okay, so, but this is
Goofy.
This is pre-us. This is a very, very old parade, but they're bringing back the individual vehicles to do cavalcades, and I couldn't be happier about it. Couldn't be happier. And I couldn't be happier about the fact that it's in the studios. So that's an additional reason to go and see these. And you don't know when they're going to be, so
Watch
it might
that
make
and
people
then go back to the proper pack.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to give you another reason to go to the studios because I'm on to our next category.
Ooh.
Rides and attractions.
Ooh.
So, Cars Road Trip, brand new attraction, opens with the resort on the 17th of June. Now, there was a promo video out for this, and I knew I would be talking a lot tonight, so I scrolled straight past and told you to watch it. So what's it like?
Do you know what? Have you seen it?
You know them tram vehicles?
It's exactly.
I knew you'd seen it.
It's exactly what you'd expect. It's just this same old like tram vehicle. It goes past Mater on a little outcrop
With moving eyes.
Yeah, and then it goes to the Disaster Canyon, whatever it's called. And,
Catastrophe Canyon.
And it's got the water, but then there's a truck in there, and that's it. But all the while, there's like a rocking soundtrack, like, and you're like.
And this video stuff isn't on the trams just like there was before, just no Jeremy Irons from what I can gather.
It's not. I'm tempted to say I wouldn't want to go on it, but it's probably worth doing.
You give it a go, yeah.
I'm just worried that sort of 17-second video I watched was all of it.
I think it probably is. I think it was always going to be a B-list attraction. And we need B-list attractions. We need people eaters, basically. And it's in preparation for all these other e-ticket attractions that we've got on the horizon.
If you could knock up a Radiator Springs, the main road going through it with the mountain at the end, the rock.
Oh, a nice rickety road as well, so that because all the suspension-y stuff in the tram could you could feel it as you went through it.
Yeah, just something to go down like that. I don't know. I'm worried about.
Even the way it's billed as well, though. It basically says something like, "Go and see the world's biggest lug nut," and then watch a
lug nut.
Yeah, watch a truck get a bath or something like that in Catastrophe Canyon.
Yeah,
it's just not selling it.
I don't like to be down on it, but
no,
it's not creating excitement in my soul.
I'm fully anticipating being underwhelmed, but I'm quite happy about that. If it's something that'll kill 5 minutes at the end of a day or between shows or something.
Kill 5 minutes?
No, I mean, come on.
If your expectations are low as well, then you stand to enjoy it more than you think you're going to do. So that's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah. There is, there's a bit of a synergy problem there because you've got Cars Quattro Rally sort of further up the street, and we talked last week. Oh no, we talked on Tuesday.
Yeah, we did.
We've actually seen each other in real life this week. About how good the theming is around that because Thursday. Because you've got the leaning tires of Pisa, and you've got your Fleur's Cafe sign, but then you've got Toy Story Land, and then you have to walk through Toy Story Land
to get to
the other cars attraction.
A bit of a disconnect.
Yeah.
Do you know what I was going to say though about re-theming a ride? When I watched it, I thought if you've been on a ride and then it gets re-themed, you can't ever appreciate it as new, can you? It's always going to be like, oh, this is that. It's like the Guardians of the Galaxy overlay in California on the Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
Looking at it, it just looks like the Tower of Terror with some stuff stuck on it. And I feel that about this Cars thing. I'm never going to appreciate it as new. It's just like, I'm just looking at things that are the same. And I wonder, can you get over that?
People love that Mission Breakout. People absolutely
it was the
love
Dunn family that go on a walk.
It is a Dunn family.
Not the Rileys.
As you just got back from his walking correct.
Sorry, Mark Riley. The Dunn family are here, and they say they got back from the walk, and I was accusing Mark earlier of it's the Dunn family.
Dunn family, you have a countdown, don't you, Dunn family? We're doing countdowns now. We're open again. So, and the Cars Road Trip is now officially on the website and officially on the map on the app. And all the stuff, it's there. It's a real life attraction that you can look forward to riding. Another opening date we've got for a brand new attraction, if anything, I'm slightly more excited about this, is the Dream Factory at Studio D. So this is a show that takes the place of Disney Junior. To all intents and purposes, I think it still is a Disney Junior show. I think they've got rid of that branding, well, for several reasons, but one of the reasons is they want to make it a little bit more, get a bit wider of a demographic, perhaps. The set is all steampunky and looks amazing, but that will debut on the 1st of July. So they've got a little bit of a delay. I'm wondering if that's something to do with capacity or whether they just want to get a bit more of a buzz around it, because we know it's ready. We've seen lots and lots of footage online of it, the costume's been ready. But I'm looking forward to trying that one out before Bonnie's too old to do it.
Laura and I were talking about that the other day, and I think, we've not taken any shows, as I've said to you before, but I think that's one of the ones that I quite like to go and have a look at. Ollie will be the right sort of age for it still. Lucas will just enjoy it because it's Disney, I hope.
I cannot recommend to you and to you guys Mickey and the Magician enough. At the, is it the Animagique Theatre or the other one? Opposite the Art of Animation, it is magical.
You've seen it 3
it's
times.
Magical. Oh, at least 3 times, possibly more.
I've done it once, and you always go, then I go do something else. I've seen it.
Hugh is of the opinion that sitting watching shows isn't a good use of theme park time.
I personally don't like to be tied into a show in Disneyland. I want to just be moving around constantly. And sitting in a show for 40 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Yeah, it's not for me. Oh, I'll do it, but I always get antsy after 20 minutes.
But I think it's kind of okay for our rhythm because I am into that.
I can
and
watch.
you usually have loads of photographs you want to take.
Yeah.
And so
It's not something I want to do.
Yeah.
But I can, go to the theatre or the cinema quite fine, but it's just, I can hear it at the park calling me.
Yeah.
I think it's an opportunity to have a break that we've never taken before. And when you've got the kids as well, I think particularly next time we go, we won't have a push chair or whatever for Ollie next time. So I guess we'll have to really think about how we take our breaks and what we do with it, because otherwise he's going to get shattered very quickly.
The Dunn family are going in 116 days.
274 for me. 274.
Mm-hmm.
And look.
458 to Florida, the Dunn family.
Ooh.
Manchester, it's just people naming the numbering, listing the numbers. 200 days, 2 hours, 57 minutes to DLP, the Chester family.
Excellent.
We should quickly do ours while we're in this mood then. We've got 68 days to the staycation cruise. And fingers crossed, 91 days, I think, to Florida.
Oh, I hope so. I really hope so.
I do. And we'll do yours in a minute.
Okay.
Because we've got a special thing. Because you're special. Right. Disney Newport Bay Club will reopen. I'm on to hotels now, if you're keeping up with me. Disney's Newport Bay Club will reopen with the resort on June the 17th. It is the only hotel that will reopen that day, and it is already sold out for opening night. So if you're thinking, I might change my mind and book for opening night, not at Newport Bay, you're going to have to stay off-site because there's no other options. Hotel Cheyenne does open on the 1st of July. So that's your budget option there. Interesting that when they did this exact same thing this time last year, they reopened Santa Fe and not Cheyenne.
Yeah.
And now they've opened Cheyenne and not Santa Fe. One of the ways. And then David Crockett Ranch, again, this didn't open last year. He's opening on July the 13th.
I forgot about the David Crockett Ranch.
Crockett Ranch.
It's a rogue option, that, but we loved it, didn't we?
Yeah, I'd like to stay there in summer though. We stay in winter, and if it's snowing, that's one thing. But staying in a cabin just in the cold woods it was nice. But I would like to stay in summer.
We did it was Christmas though, and we decorated it for Christmas. I took a little mini Christmas tree with me and fairy lights, and we had some croissants in the fridge.
Nice.
And so I remember being really fond of that. It was very, very cosy. I can see your point though. We could go for wanders, couldn't we, if it was warmer?
What's it like for getting in that? Do you drive in every day then?
We do. It's about a 5-minute drive.
Yeah.
It could potentially be walkable, but you can't because you have to go around a motorway junction.
Yeah, bit of a trek.
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous.
A lot of trek.
In fact, they actually state when you book it, they say you must have your own vehicle to stay here because the entrance to it is off a motorway junction. Like you go straight off a motorway into the thing, and then to get to Paris, you just have to go around this thing. I don't have very good words. But in no way is it walkable. But distance-wise,
to get to the park,
it would
you
be
need to Paris.
park. Yeah, sorry. Right, so no opening date for Sequoia or Santa Fe.
Oh.
But if you do have a booking, I know we've just mentioned someone who had a booking at Santa Fe, don't panic. They may well open, they could release dates anytime. They're just kind of getting this first batch up to July open. And it is, I went on to look for Christmas the other day because we're still planning on going. And I think it was Santa Fe was available to book for Christmas. So don't panic, just keep your ear to the ground. And they will just move you. They'll just move you to another place. And Cheyenne is lovely. So you don't have a problem.
I like Cheyenne.
I would be gutted if I booked Sequoia and got moved somewhere else because Sequoia is it's lovely. If you choose Sequoia, you choose it for a reason. Having said that, they would only upgrade you. So...
Like they did with us when they tried to move us out there and upgraded us to Newport Bay.
Yeah.
So we rebooked for a different day and got back into Sequoia.
Disneyland Hotel, of course, is not on the list either, but we know that is having a lengthy refurbishment. I know it's going to be over a year, so it's going to be 2022 at the very earliest before that reopens. And Village Nature, as Hugh told you in the news, is open already. But the Aqua Lagoon, which is a big draw, is not opening until June the 9th to guests only. It is a swimming pool that members of the public can go to. It's a big water park. So I can't remember when it opens to the public, but to guests it's not open until the 9th of June. Right, speak so I can drink.
The Dunn family have been also to David Crockett Ranch in the winter, and he said it snowed, and he's got some pictures. Do you want me to upload? He says. In Twitter, can you tweet him?
Tweet us, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be lovely.
I went to the Disney Village after it had snowed, and it was horrible because you know when snow's disappearing, it all turns to slush. It was that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun for like half a day.
Yes.
And then it's just a problem.
Yeah, but it was at that stage.
Yeah.
It was a problem.
Indeed.
But I bet it looks amazing inside the park.
But what a half a day.
Oh yeah.
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 But what it looks what do you say? It looked amazing.
I said I bet it looked amazing inside the park.
I'd love to
quite
see
stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, not so nice Buffalo Bills as was.
Yeah. Yeah, it's to the right park as well. Fantasyland would be nice in snow, but Frontierland, I can't see it.
Yeah, a bit weird. You think
I don't
there should be
know.
everything up so it doesn't
Yeah.
settle if it snows.
It should have underfloor heating.
It does snow in the Wild West, though, doesn't it? Up in the mountains.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I just think a bit of a warm place, though.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Fair enough. Okay, so there's one hotel, folks, I haven't mentioned yet because it's a big one. The grand opening of Hotel New York Art of Marvel, Diet Coke hiccup, will be on the 21st of June.
We should have amped.
Sorry, I needed to knock that out as well. I was really down there.
Time's that burper.
Yeah. Need the highlight remover. Yeah, it's got a grand opening. Finally, it was ready for this time last year. They were doing a big sort of art competition and presentation, and they've got all sorts of events organised this time. I think it was almost to the day. It was like the 14th of June or something last year. But we've not really heard anything about the grand opening itself. We've heard a lot about the hotel. So whether they're just going to have to like do a little fart in the wind thing, go ta-da, go to your room, I don't know. But we'll see.
I'm just going to listen to this because Mark Riley's turned up. Hi, Mark. And we've got both the Marks in. But he says we do sound a bit like we're in a bat cave.
Oh, can I test something now? Oh, right.
Yeah, we
I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something risky. I'm going to mute one microphone and leave the other one on, and see whether that stops the echoing, because that's going to make the podcast very strange this week. But never mind.
I like how we can just listen. Like we can just do a test. Yeah.
And see whether that stops the echoing. There we go. That stopped the echoing. Right. Good. Good. It's because I've got two microphones on and they're conflicting with each other and it's causing an echo. We needed Mark Riley here at the beginning. Where were you, Mark?
You are our quality control. Thank you.
Everyone else is too polite. You should say that sounds awful.
Yeesh.
We're learning as we go along here. This is new. This is weird and new, and
Can we apologise to the listeners?
I can
because
reach out and touch Chris, and that's it's a novelty.
Reach out and touch Chris.
That's the last time I'll do it, Chris. I promise. So, booking opened at the beginning of this week on the 18th of May. They gave you less than 24 hours notice. It was like tomorrow morning, wake up, book your hotel. And if you book by the 29th of July 2021, you receive a free Marvel print by Matt Ferguson and 1 free non-alcoholic drink at one of the hotel bars.
Can of Coke.
Now, the free Marvel print is pretty cool because you've got a limited edition thing that only people who stayed within that time frame has got. The free non-alcoholic drink. I'm like, cheers.
It's to get you into the bar, though, isn't it?
It is. They want everybody visiting the bars and experiencing the hotel, I think.
Can that drink be a mixer?
I think it's a cocktail.
And then you can get the...
I think it's a non-alcoholic cocktail.
I do like a good mocktail, you know. I do like a virgin colada. Is up my street. Chris, this is a moment I'm going to say, you've got something to tell us, you sly dog. Haven't you?
Yeah, so Laura's ears pricked up and she looked up at me on the 17th and said, hey, the Marvel Hotel's booking from tomorrow. And I said, all right, that's interesting. Because you all know how much I love the idea of the Marvel Hotel. I cannot wait to go and swim in that pool. Now, so I
You've
said,
always
okay.
wanted to wade in a subway, haven't you?
Yeah, and Laura said, honestly, if we could move our booking to the Marvel Hotel, don't you think Oliver would absolutely lose it if we were staying in a hotel with all the Avengers and stuff in it? And I said, yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're probably right, but I would expect it's going to be pretty expensive. So didn't talk any more about it until she texted me bearing in mind that the sales started at 9 o'clock, I think, on the 18th. She messaged me at 20 to 9 to say, have a look at this. This is how much it costs. It's a bit more expensive than what we were paying. So I said, okay, fair enough. Let's have a look. So I had a look at it, and I said, yeah, it is a bit more expensive. But if you want to do it, I'm quite willing to change it because it's only £13. And she,
£13.
So she said, all right, okay, yeah, we'll do it then. So I went sent an email and then responded back to her and said, actually, I was wrong. It's only £3.60. So for £3.64. So the price keeps changing. For £3.64, I have moved our booking from Sequoia to the Art of Marvel Hotel, staying in one of their superior rooms.
Well, as much as I love Sequoia, hell yeah. To experience a new hotel and all that thing, and you've got boys the right age, and absolutely.
Well, there's another thing about this, which is that when Laura went when she was younger, that's where she stayed. And
was it?
Yeah, and I keep saying it's quite corporate, but Laura said, I'm a corporate hotel person. That's what she likes. So.
Yeah, some do.
So,
I love a corporate hotel. It makes me feel all nostalgic. Yeah, well, I was watching that video today of it, and again, it was like the cars ride. I just thought it's exactly what I expected.
Yeah.
It's a kind of corporate looking thing with some prints on the wall. There's some theming, obviously, but it's, But I'd stay there. Obviously, I'd stay there and I'd enjoy it. But
we've looked because we're planning a
step.
Christmas trip with friends. The friends that we couldn't go to Florida with, we're planning a Christmas trip to Disneyland Paris with them. And their little boy, I said this last week, is, Spider-Man nuts in the way that only a 3-year-old can be Spider-Man nuts. In fact, she put a picture of him on Facebook today in his Spider-Man hoodie doing that. He's absolutely crazy. And we're kind of figuring out on a financial basis how much the look on that 3-year-old's face is worth staying there. But it wasn't £3.60 difference. It was £500 difference when we looked and we're like, oh.
It seemed like a good opportunity to me for us. For research and stuff, but also even when we went to the Cheyenne and it had been recently refurbished and we were one of the newer refurbished rooms, it's still been done a while before. When we went to Newport Bay and we stayed in the whatever it's called, Compass Club. Some of the stuff on the walls was tatty and broken. This is going to be a couple of months old by the time we get in there. Well, 6 months.
Yeah.
And it does look pretty lush. It's not. I don't know if it's what I would. If I was choosing overall, it's probably not what I would choose. But we were going to go stay in the Disneyland Hotel, weren't we? And that in itself, it's magical, but it's still quite corporate. Newport Bay is as well.
I'd stay there. I'd stay anywhere for the experience.
Yeah.
You know, everything's got a different feel, and then that trip, that holiday, has got its own blueprint, then hasn't it?
Exactly.
Got its own
And you know when you get excited, you know when you book something new, you just get excited
Yeah.
immediately, don't you? The thing that we've got at the moment is there isn't a lot to show for it, but over the next month or two, and so on, we'll start to see reviews, we'll start to see all that kind of stuff, and I'm quite interested to keep on top of it. So there you go. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that sounds good. And when is that again?
February, 274 days.
274 days. We're all doing our countdowns.
Oh, but the boys don't know. Still, everybody, the boys don't know unless Lucas has stayed up late and has chosen not to watch Minecraft but to watch this.
Sounds very unlikely.
The boys do not know, and if they do find out that we're going to Disneyland, we don't want them to know that we're staying in this hotel, because then at least we can keep some mystery with it. So we're going to say we're staying
Probably
outside.
best that you tell us so we don't go, are you looking forward to the Marvel Hotel?
Exactly.
The Duns have sent us, if you look at our mentions, the Disneyland Paris covered in snow, and it's weird. I'll tell you what spoils it. You got the great picture of the castle here and the hub and everything, but there's a yellow cone just ruining it.
Someone moved it from front to lower.
Hey, the oh no, I'm going to say the yellow cone in the Three Caballeros ride has gone, but I photoshopped that in, didn't I, on Twitter?
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
It wasn't on there. But the Three Caballeros are back on that ride. Yeah,
if I was better at my job, by the way, I would have been able to take those pictures and show you them right now on here, but I haven't quite got my head around how to do that yet. So, you know, we're striving for quality. We're hoping to get better at these things, but at the moment,
hold them up.
It's
not the same though, is it?
No.
Isn't it?
No.
I just want to take this opportunity before I do my final little segment to say, if you've been watching our Sunday shows since we suddenly got surprised and thrown into lockdown last March, and it was like, that's it, boom, you're locked down. We had to work out how to put a show not we. Chris had to work out how to put a show together via Zoom, record the podcast, get the audio sent over, get everything mixed. And he had to do it within minutes. Well, no, within a week. And if you've seen the quality improve from last March to this May, just so much appreciation for Chris, because he's had to learn so much, he's worked out so much. Now he's back in square one again, because now we're back together. We have to start learning other things. But I've so much confidence in your ability that next week you'll come with a new gadget and a new cable, and it'll be even better.
The more difficult thing about this is that we have to find time to be able to try everything and test it, whereas before, all the control of all of this was done from my desk, and it didn't matter where anybody else was. But now we're all together, we've just got to learn it all again. So next few weeks, we might start to see some of these technical glitches. But, you know, if the audio's okay on one mic, then we might just go to one mic, for instance. We'll work it out. We'll make it work. It's going to be great. Yeah.
Fail forward.
Yeah.
Get off our backs!
Yeah, for goodness sake, come on.
And if you really want to know what all this is about, watch Meet the Robinsons. They've got a really good message. Right. Okay, so on to the final. This is the and finally bit, because it's about the village. Bless it. Disney Village. Buffalo Bill's Wild West show signage has been fully removed. There is no trace of its existence. That includes your giant Mickey. And you know, we were saying if that went to one of these theme park antique dealers, and someone could buy it, it's been smashed. There's a picture of it in a skip. Just kind of it's been ripped off. Not like deliberately. I presume they couldn't get it off the wall in one piece.
When Richard Whiteley died, my friend worked at ITV, and he worked in the post room, and he helped throw out the chair he'd had for like 30 years. They just skipped it.
Oh dear.
That's so grim.
I've only got 15% battery left on the laptop.
Did it say 15 minutes or 15?
It said 15 minutes, 10% battery.
Well, let's not talk about that. Let's get through this bullet thing. The World of Disney is opening again from 12 to 5 on weekends until the resort opens. That includes this weekend. It has been open. There is lots of discounts again for all the season's merch that has not been spent. So if you're in the vicinity, it's worth going to. Again, masks are mandatory for those aged 6 and over, but you do get free parking with a purchase, so it's worth going. What boggled my mind was, and I realised, they're still releasing the usual monthly limited edition pins into the World of Disney all the time, with no one there to buy them. So go and fill your boots with pins.
Poor pin designers.
I know.
Like, you know, the guy whose turn it is for March, and he was like, oh, maybe much. Oh no! It was my bestest one.
And it was Cinderella this month, and I just Gus and Jacques are two of my favourite little characters.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the village will operate. This is limited hours. Will operate from 4 till 9, when the resort first opens, with the exception of a Nets, which will be open for lunch. Now, I couldn't make it clear whether that included non-Disney owned restaurants, because I know that Vapiano's and Five Guys are open already. So I don't know if that goes for things like Rainforest Cafe, if they can set their own hours. But I would certainly bet on all your Disney-owned shops and restaurants being closed during the day. They open 4 till 9.
I did again when you said Rainforest Cafe. I thought of Rainforest Gâteau again. It just has a ring. Rainforest Gâteau. This happened last week.
You should invent Rainforest Gâteau.
I would have that. I think it'd be a winner. We should invent it. We should make it. Give it Mickey ears, the cake, the gâteau, and we could eat it on the show. Because we do that now, don't we?
We do. Next week I've got something planned.
And that's all she wrote. I shouldn't clap like that on a podcast particularly.
Yeah.
So...
Can I say something before we run out of steam, literally?
Yes.
Right. 2 weeks today, see my computer's even telling me that my battery's running low now. 2 weeks today, we will have been doing this for 2 whole years. So we need to do something about that. So what I was thinking was, let's do something on this show live and get as many of you as we possibly can to come on. So let's come and join us on YouTube and join the live chat. If you want to send messages and stuff, send them to us beforehand. You can send them to mailbox at 37disneystreet.co.uk or contact us on the various different direct messages from Instagram, Facebook, blah, 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 blah. We'll put messages on if they're audio, video. I'll sort it all out and put it all into this show so we can actually play them and show them, which would be pretty cool. And then I don't know, Lucy might persuade Lucy to do a quiz maybe for everybody.
Yeah, perhaps.
Something like that. Have a bit of fun just to celebrate. We'll work it out anyway. But basically, come here in 2 weeks' time on Sunday, and I know some of you already do anyway, but more of you, come here to YouTube and join us. I'll bang loads of stuff on Facebook and Twitter over the next couple of weeks just to remind everyone. That's all.
Can I just say again, before we run out of steam, we also wanted to take a moment today, now that we're back together, to say thank you to our Patreon family who've been helping us out, because it is it's not a for-profit, let's go out on town with that money. We always use that money to help the podcast. And Chris buys little gadgets, and I have no idea what they do.
It's a stream deck. It
does a little stream desk, and it can do this. And so any small amounts of money, I think it's only £3 a month that we get from there. Thank you so much to anyone who is generous enough to do that for us, because it's helping with this setup, and it's helping us learn and grow and improve all the time. So I'm going to wrap up now, because I can feel it going. So
they can hear you speeding up your talking in the chat.
I always do.
Yeah.
I like